Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to do some tap on shame, guilt, and embarrassment. So, this is some deep, heavy stuff. So, I want to start with a little disclaimer. And that disclaimer is that you agree to take full responsibility for your emotional and mental well being during our time together. And afterwards, obviously, we're going to be doing some deep work, but I'm going to do my best to keep it light and keep it where you're going to leave here feeling much better after we do some tapping. So I forgot to pull up today's quote. So let me grab that and then we will get going. So hang on one moment. So look over here at my other screen. Okay, so we are going to start with our short little meditation, Elevate. So if you will, close your eyes and just start taking a couple deep, nourishing breaths, getting centered and grounded and arriving. And bring your hands to your heart and start bringing your attention and your intention into your heart. So, bringing your thoughts, your mind, your everything into your heart out of your head. Excuse me. And with your attention here in your heart, I want to invite you to think about someone you really, really love, human or animal, currently on the planet or not, but that's someone special when you think about them that just really brings you into that space of love and gratitude and appreciation. And really allow yourself to feel that love, not just think it, feel it. Feeling it in your heart, and then letting it spread from your heart all throughout your body, filling every single cell of your body with love, gratitude, and appreciation. And we're going to call this feeling your resourced state. Resourced state. And what I mean by that is a good feeling way of being, a good feeling state that you can be, that you can come back to whenever you need to, anytime in your life. So you can play with this feeling. You can bring in maybe being at the beach or a memory that you have, anything that leaves you in that feeling good place that feels good to think about walking in the water on the beach at sunrise. That's mine, or being on a boat on the lake, or being with somebody special, or thinking specifically about this precious someone from your past or your present that really brings you in a space of love. So I'm going to really ask you to tune in, to dial in to that resourced state. And let's take one more deep, nourishing breath together. Opening your eyes, coming back to here and now. And since I've mentioned being this resource state, I want to invite you to come up with a title for it. So it could be beach. For me, it's actually warm pink home. Now that might sound kind of weird, but I imagine me and my family together in our den, and all four of us plus dogs together and hugging each other and being in that loving space. And it just feels warm, and that feeling is pink to me, and it feels like home. So for me, it's warm pink home or WPH. So I know that sounds kind of silly, but it gives me a something to focus on, to remember when I'm feeling like crap for whatever reason, that I'm like, oh yeah, go back to that place, feel that. And I'll put my hands over my heart and just bring myself back into that place so that I can feel better in whatever situation's coming up. So just thought I'd share that before we go into the deep stuff, shame, guilt, and embarrassment. So I'm going to grab a sip of water and we're going to jump into our topic for today. Okay, so I want to share with you a long quote. So the quote is, I believe one of our soul's major purposes, hang on a second. I believe one of our soul's major purposes is to know, love, and express our authentic selves, to live the life and be the person we were created to be. However, our true selves only emerge when it's safe to do so. Self-condemnation, shame, and guilt send your true nature into hiding. It's only in the safety of gentle curiosity, encouragement, and self love that your soul can bloom as it was created to do. And this is by Sue Theo, I think is how you say her last name. So I will put that in the show notes because that's a long quote. Don't you expect you to remember it? But the general gist of it is the more we spend time, I'm sorry, my throat's acting up today. So hang on a second. Sorry about that. See if it gets any better. So, when we are judging ourselves and we're stuck in shame and judgment and blame, either with ourselves or with others, it is such low vibration energy. As a matter of fact, I believe shame is the lowest vibration emotion there is, even lower than anger. So, um, we do our best to get out of that so that we can be in a higher vibration place, so that we can be in the energy of who we truly are, who we're meant to be, and how we're meant to serve in the world. So I hope that makes sense. So I will put that quote in the show notes, like I said. But the main thing is we are working toward being in the safety of gentle curiosity, encouragement, and self love. So that's what we're working toward. We're working on releasing shame, guilt, and embarrassment and realizing that everybody has regrets. Everybody has things they wish they hadn't done or said, or things that were done to them that they wish they had never happened, because that they wish had never happened, so that they're not carrying that either. So okay, so we are going to do some tapping on this today, and I'm going to invite you to think of a number 0 to 10 of how where you are, 10 being super high, 0 being not at all, with these feelings of shame, guilt, and embarrassment in this moment. So just want to clarify, shame is feeling like there's something wrong with me. I'm a bad person. That's not changeable. I'm stuck. I'm a bad person. Guilt is feeling bad about something that you have done. So, guilt is actually a useful emotion in that it can get you to not do something you feel bad about again, that you get to learn from that, you get to grow from that. Shame is deeper. Shame is, it can be very paralyzing, quite frankly. So, that's why it's important to work on releasing it as much as possible. It's not going to happen, one time, bing, no more shame, no magic wands here. But it is something that we can work on and we can release, periodically as needed. And we can bring in more self love, more acceptance, more curiosity and kindness with ourselves. So that's the goal. Okay. So I want you to get that number 0 to 10 of where you are right now with shame, guilt, and embarrassment. And by the way, I throw embarrassment in there because most of the time you may have done something that you're embarrassed about, that you're ashamed of, that you feel guilty about. That's why they are all together. I call them the unholy trinity because those three walk together, right? It's rare that you're going to feel one without the other. Now, hopefully, as you get healthier and you do more of your healing work, that you don't fall into shame so much that you're able to catch, man, I wish I hadn't have said that. Ugh, I feel bad about that. Feel guilt and embarrassed that you said something, but maybe not fall as deep as shame. So that's another, thing we're working on here when we're releasing these. So I hope you have that number 0 to 10 of where you are. You're welcome to put it in the chat if you would like, but you certainly don't have to. And here's the quick overview of how to do EFT, emotional freedom techniques, or tapping. And just a reminder that if you choose to tap with me today, you are taking full responsibility for your emotional well being. Okay, so the first place that we tap when we tap is on the side of the hand. Usually I use 4 fingers here, and we do what's called a set-up phrase or balancing statement. And today it's gonna be something like, "Even though I feel shame, guilt, and embarrassment." Actually, I'm gonna shorten it to just shame. I'm open to the possibility I can release and let it go. So we start with truth telling, where we really are, what we're feeling, and then we're working toward letting it go and being in a better place. Okay. So we'll probably do that 3 times on the side of the hand, and then we'll do what's called a round. And by the way, you're welcome to tap with me while I'm showing you the points. So going to the eyebrow point, gently tapping with 2 fingers. And we'll do what's called a reminder phrase. So it'll be something like, I'm feeling all the shame. Okay. Our next point is the side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose. The chin point's the indentation between the lip and the chin. The next point is the collarbone. Go down about an inch, out about an inch. The next one is the underarm point. The underarm is down at the bottom of the bra line, ladies. And then our last one we're using today is the top of the head. All right. If you have something to drink, I'm going to ask you to grab one more sip, because what we're doing is a form of energy psychology, and it's important to be well hydrated when you do energy work. Okay. So repeating after me, tuning into that number, how much shame you're feeling in this moment. Preferably repeating after me out loud. So even though I feel all this shame, guilt, and embarrassment, and maybe it's about something that's happened recently, or maybe it's about something from the past, or maybe it's just an overall feeling I carry often. I'm choosing to relax and to allow myself to tune into this today. So even though I have these feelings of shame, guilt, and embarrassment, I'm open to the possibility that I can release and let some of this go. So even though I've been holding on to these feelings for a long time, today I'm willing to be willing to release as much as I can today. All right, let's go around the points, going to the eyebrow. All this shame, side of the eye, all this guilt, under the eye, all this embarrassment, under the nose. I carry these feelings in my body. So as I'm saying that, I'm going to ask you to tune in, going to the chin point, to tune in. Where do you carry this feelings or these feelings in your body? For a lot of people, it's in the stomach. It's a sick feeling in your stomach, or it might be a tightness in your chest, or it might be your shoulders tensing up. So it could be anywhere, but I think the stomach is the most common one. Going to the collarbone point and noticing where you're carrying it in your body. I'm carrying this in my body. Under the arm. And I'm just letting myself feel what I feel. Top of the head. Acknowledging this feeling. And acknowledging the body sensations. And I'm realizing today that maybe I don't have to carry this. Under the eye. Maybe I don't have to believe this anymore. Under the nose. Maybe I have nothing to be ashamed of. Chin. Maybe there's nothing wrong with me. collarbone. Maybe I can even remember that I am a divine being having a human experience. Under the arm. Maybe I can remember how precious I really am. Top of the head. So just for a moment, I want you to imagine seeing yourself as a little baby, a blameless little baby here on the planet to learn and grow. Okay? Going to the eyebrow. And imagine sending love and acceptance to that little baby you. Side of the eye. Notice how precious they are. Under the eye. Really feeling those feelings of love and acceptance for your baby self. Under the nose, letting go of self-condemnation. Chin, letting go of self-judgment. Letting go of shame as much as I'm able today. Under the arm, releasing and letting it go. Top of the head. And I'm choosing to bring in gentleness and kindness. Eyebrow. I'm choosing to bring in self-acceptance. Side of the eye. I'm choosing to bring in forgiveness. Under the eye. I'm choosing to bring in as much self-love as I can today. And I'm making the decision to be kind and curious with myself. I'm making the decision to be gentle and tender with myself. And I'm choosing to be more loving and accepting with others too. Under the arm, I'm so grateful for however much acceptance I can bring in, however much forgiveness I can bring in. And I'm letting go of as much shame, guilt, and embarrassment as I can. And I am so, so grateful. And I'm going to invite you to put your hands over your heart. Take a deep, nourishing breath with me. And I want you to tune into that feeling that you got brought in the beginning, that resource state, that feeling of love and gratitude, appreciation. And we're going to add acceptance and forgiveness to that. So just allow yourself to be filled with the energies of love, gratitude, acceptance, and forgiveness. And breathe that into every single cell in your body. Anchoring it in. Maybe putting a smile on your face. Noticing your feet on the ground, your hands over your heart. And let's take one last deep, nourishing breath together. Opening your eyes, coming back to here and now. Hopefully feeling refreshed, renewed, revitalized. Hopefully you've let go of some of that shame, some of that guilt, and have brought in more self-love and acceptance. So thank you so much for joining me today. I won't be here next week, but then I will be back with Tapping into Gratitude. So blessings to you all, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye, everyone.